Hello students. Hi, good morning. Good morning, man. All have entered from waiting room. Okay, fine. Good morning, Prakriti. Good morning, Tejashwani, Shweta, Romana, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Yes. So we are talking about the carrying capacity of the population, right? So what is exactly population carrying capacity? I will give you. I told you already two things. One is biotic potential or reproductive ability. Second is environmental check. Means environment, how it maintains the equilibrium. Third one is about the carrying capacity. Okay. So what is carrying capacity all about? Anybody have idea? It is the ability of the environment to support the life, right? The organisms or a population is there in an environment or in an area, the surrounding environment will have certain way to support its growth. That's called carrying capacity of a population, right? That population carry capacity in the environment. If you suppose in this environment we have big forest, they're carrying capacity for the deers and other animals like some of the tigers and all we more. So carrying capacity is the ability of the environmental factors to support the population there. It is called a carrying capacity. Are you able to listen to me? Are you able to follow me? Are you following me? Okay. Good morning, all of you. Good morning, Sanjit. Hi. Okay. Then. So let's continue. What I told you is about the important three things required for the population growth, right? Population growth depends upon one is biotic potential, second is environmental control, third is the carrying capacity. So biotic components, biotic what do you call potential is the reproductive ability, right? That reproductive ability, you know already, it is very high in every organism. Environmental check, lot of things are there to check the growing population. Third one is carrying capacity. Carrying capacity is the ability of the environment to support the particular growth. Okay, that's what we call it as the carrying capacity. Okay, so carrying capacity means the environment will decide whether to hold it or not, right? Imagine one group of organisms are migrated to a new environment and the environment is supporting the growth of it, right? Then what happens? Immediately their multiplication shoots up, right? And the organism will continue to grow. Okay, so imagine I'm talking about the third point, that is carrying capacity. Okay, suppose imagine a group of organisms have entered a new place. What happens initially will be very slow. Slow like this, growing. Suddenly the environment is so good, they are multiplying like this because the logistic growth curve. After certain time, no, they can grow like this and they will completely cover up the whole environmental area in that area. But what happens is after certain area or certain growth, environment brings certain checkpoints where it will stop the growth like this. Again, they may increase. Again, it will bring down. Again, it will increase. Again, it brings down. This is the environmental check it does, right? Otherwise, it will be growing like this. Exponential way will be growing. But what happens? Environment will bring the check. Okay. So this is the upward limit of environment. ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ ಅದು. Okay, and it will be fluctuating depending upon. So what happens, suppose there is a hatching season, all the eggs will hatch in the insects, all they will come daba 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 and ashton insects are. Suddenly they start competing, they'll be fighting, they'll food shelter everything, then their environment will check it, they will come down. Again they breed, they produce a lot of organisms, again they will come down like this. There will be a fluctuation happening when they reach the upper limit. Upper limit ಬರೋ ತನಕ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತದೆ. ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ upper limit reach ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ environment start controlling it, right? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಬನ್ನಿ ಅಂತ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ. Environment is carrying, its carrying capacity is good, so it will be growing like that's. I always believe that it's happening in COVID also, right? It is like peak we have reached, right? Now you would have seen so much there is a problem, right? There is nothing like you cannot be normal like earlier, because we may start college again, but you can't be normal like how you were roaming around and zooming, shopping, gaping and all. Try to avoid all those things because there is a check happening in the environment. There is nothing like other animals are not getting COVID, only humans are getting COVID, right? We have observed. This is a kind of environmental check, right? So further you cannot grow anta adondu check ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಹಾಗೆ environmental capacity will, whatever carrying capacity is there, that carrying capacity has certain limit. Afterwards it will put a check there, right? Again it increases, it will put it down, increases, put it down. This is called the carrying capacity of the environment. Correct? Okay, so if you write this, so this is about the number of organisms. This is the time. Okay, this is the carrying capacity of the environment. Okay, write down carrying capacity. It is the environment's ability to provide. It is the environment's ability to provide necessary resources to support a population. To support a population. It is the environment's ability to provide necessary resources to support a population. It helps the number of individuals of a population, that can survive in a given locality. That can survive in a given locality. The carrying capacity of a region does not let its population, the carrying capacity of a region does not let populations to grow indefinitely. Does not let its population to grow indefinitely. When a population reaches its size, when a population reaches its size, reaches its size, it may stabilize with fluctuations above and below. It may stabilize with fluctuations above or below the carrying capacity. Above or below the carrying capacity. Carrying capacity. Next, side heading, right? Illustration of nature's control over population. Illustration of nature's control over population. Then just write this graph. Are you drawing or writing? Written? Then write down. When a population of organisms is introduced into a new territory, when a population of organisms is introduced into a new territory, with favorable conditions of environment, with favorable conditions of environment, The population grows rapidly. The population grows rapidly. I repeat, if a population of organisms is introduced into a new territory, with favorable environmental conditions, the population grows rapidly. This is not because of the reproduction. It is because of the more survival capacity. It's not because ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ reproduction ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ವಾ. It's not because of the reproduction, but it is because of survival of more offsprings. Survival of more offsprings. Next. As the number of organisms increase, the environmental resistance increases. Proportionately. ಎಷ್ಟು ನಂಬರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಹಂಗೆ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ. Full stop. Competition between members of same population for food. Competition between members of same population for food. Decrease in supply of food. Decrease in supply of food per population reduces. The number of organisms and their survival. And their survival. Should I repeat, Hafsa? Or is that the earlier message? What, Shweta? Okay, I repeat. So population grows rapidly, Bharadnalva. It's not because of the increase in reproduction, but the survival of more offsprings. Next sentence. As the number of organisms increases, the environmental resistance begins to increase proportionately. Full stop. I continue the same sentence, maybe a repetition. There is a competition between members of the same for food and decrease in the food supply per organism reduce the number of offsprings that survive. Offsprings and their survival. Right. Number of offsprings and their survival. Next, refer the chart, the graph you write. Refer the graph. Okay. Refer the graph. As shown in the graph, the exponentially increasing growth curve begins to come down. Next, the dotted lines in the graph indicate the upper limit of population if there was no environmental check. No environmental check. The horizontal line in the graph indicates the maximum number of offsprings, organisms, the maximum number of organisms the environment can support. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಇದು ಹಾರಿಜಾಂಟಲ್ ಲೈನ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ತನಕ organisms can be supported by the environment. Maximum number of organisms the environment can support. The bracketed environmental carrying capacity. Bracket ಅಲ್ಲಿ environment's carrying capacity. Actual number of population in upper limit is still higher. Actual number of organisms in upper limit is still highest or greater but this is limited as the number of organisms begin to die. After reaching the equilibrium. After reaching the equilibrium. The population size seesaws. Seesaw ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಿಂಗ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಹಿಂಗ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಹಿಂಗ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. Seesaws. ಸೀಸಾ ಆಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಹಂಗೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ 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 ಮೇಲೆ seesaws going up and down the upward limit. When population size goes above the upper limit, the environment resistance increases. The reproductive potential, the environmental resistance increases above biotic potential, comma, the death rate increases ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಉದ್ದ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೈತಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಸೊ ಡೆತ್ ರೇಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅವಾಗ ಓಕೆ ಡೆತ್ ರೇಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್ and population decreases. Seesaw spelling ಏನ್ ಬರೆದ್ರಿ seesaw spelling ಬರೆದ್ರಾ ಏನ್ ಬರೆದ್ರಿ seesaw let me see seesaw ಏನ್ ಬರೆದ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಓದಿ ನೋಡೋಣ ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ yeah prakriti that seesaw seesaw correct seesaw ಎರಡು ಒಂದೇ ವರ್ಡ್ ಮಧ್ಯ ಲೈನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಹಿಂದೂಜ seesaw is a single word ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಅಪ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಡೌನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಪ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಡೌನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ seesaws ಅಂತಾರೆ and population decreases. Apart from food, next paragraph, apart from food, The population density is depending on the other factors like predation, cannibalism. Cannibalism ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವೇ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣವನ್ನ ವೀಕರ್ ತಿನ್ನೋದು same species. Cannibalism, diseases, competing for resources, regulate the size of natural population. Regulate the size of natural population. Next, population fluctuations and cycles. Right side heading. Population fluctuations and cycles. I was telling you, whenever there is hatching of eggs and all, population suddenly will increase. ಆಮೇಲೆ adults ಆಗುವಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತದೆ. That's how it population fluctuates. Are you writing, students? These are all required because that day I was explaining you. Population ಆದ್ರೇನೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆದಂಗೆ ಇದು ಅಂತ. ಸುಮಾರು KPS ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೀಲೇಬೇಕು, ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೇಬೇಕು. Are you writing this? Okay, good. Write down. Population doesn't always remain perfectly stable. Up and down variations always occur in the time, from time to time. Up and down variations always occur from time to time. In response to changes in the environment. First one, fluctuations. Irregular changes in the population size is called fluctuations. Irregular changes in the population size are called fluctuations. These are caused, you would have seen, I think, some of the videos and all you would have seen. Whenever the crabs, sorry, the tortoise lay the eggs and all, they put it in the nearby sand. Do you remember? Sand ಹಾಕಿರ್ತದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಬೆಳೆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಬುದು ಬುದು ಅಂತ ಹೋಗ್ತಿರ್ತಾವೆ, ನೋಡಿದಿರ ಮರಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಕ್ರಾಬ್ಸ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ದ ಹ್ಯಾಚ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾವ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ. Have you seen that kind of videos? Right? I was watching that videos in the seashore ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ seashore ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಸೈಡ್ ಇಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ seashore ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಮರಳು ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇವು ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಓಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಿರ್ತಾವೆ seashore ಗೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅವು. ಯಾವಾಗ ಹ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅವಾಗ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಫ್ಲಕ್ಚುಯೇಷನ್. These are because of sudden rise in the population density for short period. These are because of a sudden rise in the population density for a short period. Followed by steep fall after some time. Steep fall after certain time. For example, there are more birds in early summer due to newly hatched members. Okay, what is that? For a short period. Okay, I repeat. For a short period, followed by steep fall. Followed by steep fall. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. Got it, Hafsa? Okay, then. Steep fall. Next. For example, there are more birds in early summer because of newly hatched members. Then the later time. Because in later period, many birds may get destroyed by environmental hazards. later time they are destroyed by the environmental hazards. Sanjit, environmental hazards andre ಬೇರಾರು weather problem ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸತ್ತೋಗ್ತವೆ ಅಂತ ಆಯ್ತಾ. Okay, so now one more thing I'll give you is population cycle. This is fluctuation I told you. ಎಲ್ಲ carrying capacity ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Fluctuation ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ the cycle I'll give you, right? Why this will be a fluctuating population cycle is fluctuating. Okay, so first is fluctuation ಯಾಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡನೇದು ಬಂದು the cycle of those organisms. That's a population cycle. Okay, so some of the populations will have one particular cycle where in particular time they will be more, right? Then suddenly they all disappear. Next season they will not come. So many they will die, right? And they may sometimes they'll be too huge and they'll not follow. Next time the same time they will not appear. Some of them they won't have been there only. There'll be very few, 10 members will be there. Other there are thousands and thousands of animals. Like one of the example I given, that is lemming and also mouse ತರ animal ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Lemming ಅಂತ tundra ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. Lemming ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು organism that is in tundra. ಒಂಥರ ಮೌಸ್ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಇದು. ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸೀಸನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಇರ್ತವೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ಬ್ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೆಮಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದೇರ್ ಆಲ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ ದಟ್. ವಿಂಟರ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಾ ಏನ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀರು ಇರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸ್ನೋ ಇದೆ, ಸ್ನೋ ಇದೆ ವಿಂಟರ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ನೀರು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮುಳುಗ್ ಸತ್ತೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾವೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಬಂದು ಬರೋ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತಿರ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ, ಇವು ಒಂದು 10-15 ಇವಷ್ಟೇ ಸರ್ವೈವ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ, ಇವಷ್ಟೇ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ there will be thousands of them will be having the cycle. The cycle is not same in all the time in all the organisms. Cycle change ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಒಂದು ಟೈಮ್ಗೆ thousands ಇರೋವು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 10 ಇರ್ತಾವ ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ ಅಂತ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಒಂಥರ ಕ್ಯಾರಿಂಗ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ. ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ದೆಮ್. ಒಂದು ಟೈಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಂಟರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದದ್ದು ವಿಂಟರ್ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸತ್ತೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತವೆ. ಮುಂದೆ ಬರುವಾಗ ಸೀಸನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ರೀಅಪಿಯರ್ ಆಗೋಗೋ ಒಂದು 5-6 ಉಳಿದಿರ್ತಾವ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಂತ, ಎಷ್ಟೋ ತಿಂಗಳಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದು ಸೈಕಲ್ ಬೇರೆ, ಇದ್ರದ್ದು ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬೇರೆ. Madam, population cycle. Regular changes in the population cycle over years is called population cycle. Regular changes in the population cycle ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. Regular changes in the population size over years is called population cycle. This variation is because of the seasonal change in the environment. Seasonal change in the environment. For example, lemmings, the mouse-like rodents. Lemmings, the mouse-like rodents of tundra reach peak size peak size in summer reach peak size in summer full stop. But at the time of winter, they migrate to sea and drown. They migrate to sea and drown. Next, few of the lemmings only will survive for the next year. Few of the lemmings only will survive for the next year. To reach the peak again, it may take several years. To reach the peak again, it may take several years. Did you understand this? Okay. Okay, ಈಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬರೋದು ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ನಾನು ಆಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್. ಸಮ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಐ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಯು ದಟ್ ಸಿಗ್ಮಾಯ್ಡ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಕರ್ವ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲರ್. ಬಟ್ ಈಗ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಗಿತಿತ್ತು, ಇದು ಮೂರದು ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಮುಗಿತು. ಈಗ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳೋದು. How exactly population growth shows different forms. Growth forms. As I already discussed once, I think growth is always showing sigmoid curve. Initially growth is slow, then it becomes peak, then it will become steady. Adu normal. But human population, I told straight is the steady state. That is, should not be, they will not reach steady only. It will be going in exponential curve. So that is another curve. Other next class. Okay. So we will take off after the 15 minutes. We will return back again. Okay. Hello. You are there. Bye.